Hello and welcome. I'm Doug, aka Doug21J, and I own a 2017 KTM 250 XCW, the one with the Makuni carburetor on it. And I typically ride from sea level to 6,000 feet, and that carburetor's been problematic. I've tried kits and jets and one thing and another, and I can't get it to work properly from sea level to 6,000 feet. So I've decided to change the carburetor, and there are several options out there. One being Kian, which KTM used to come on up until 2017. They went to the Makuni for some reason. The other option would be an Electron carburetor. But I have in front of me, from a company called Technology Elevated, a Smart Carb. I'm going to uncrate it here and show it to you. We're going to tell you a little bit about it today and a little bit how it works and why it's better than anybody else's. And we're doing this little video today because I'm going to be out of commission for a few weeks, and I wanted to kind of do this as a tease, if you will, or a preview of this carburetor. I'm going to put this on my bike, and I'm going to be riding it around my driveway doing a butt dyno test. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Not going to take it too much apart, but going to go from there. So first, this is it's a cast unit, cast aluminum unit. It's very, very heavy. It probably weighs 1.25 pounds, where most carburetors are just ounces. It's extremely well made, very high quality parts, very solid. And the first thing you'll notice here is that it doesn't have any external hoses. So there's some reasons for that. So first of all, it is a flat slide carburetor. It has no adjustments other than an idle screw and a rich lean metering rod, they call it, in here. And I'll go on and explain that a little bit. Because it has no external hoses or anything hanging onto it, means that it's self-contained, fully sealed. It doesn't have any, there'll be no overspill or spilling of gas. If the bike should fall over, it's not going to spill gas into the atmosphere. So it's a fully pressurized float bowl. There are no hoses or there's no accelerator pump in this at all either. So the air is drawn in from the air box into here. It goes into this little slot in here and goes down this side and goes into the float bowl and pressurizes it and puts pressure up underneath. So you can take this thing and you can blow into it, and you can hear air being passed into the float bowl itself. Now, if you tip it upside down, if you can almost hear that click, and if you suck on it, there's nothing, no air going to get out of that. And this particular unit fits on my 2017, so it has been milled down on both sides because this carburetor is longer than my connection between my airbox and my intake. So it's been milled down. The only hose that's on it is this hose right here, which is the float bowl drain. There's another way that you can test to see whether the float bowl is the proper height by taking this thing and bringing it around here. Once this thing has been installed, you can bring it around here and you can turn the gas on and open this float bowl screw here, and it will flow around up to here and stop right about here. If it stops right here, then you know the float bowl is properly adjusted. So, and then it also has a choke, the standard choke. And if you notice, it has this little tag on here, and this tag is telling you to leave this open. So when it's installed, you will make sure that this choke is on, and you'll slowly open the petcock up so that the fuel drains into it slowly and doesn't overflow. And then once that's off, you can snap that off, start the bike, and then you can push, once it warms up a little bit, you can push that down. So because this carburetor is self-sealed, It puts out about 50% less emissions than the standard carburetor does. Again, if it falls over, it's not going to spill fuel out of it. This is one of the couple of things that attracted me to this carburetor was that the fact that it's about 50% less emissions. It has passed some of the EPA Title III, I think it is, regulations. The other thing is because it pulls air in here and it's self-contained and pressurized in here, it will automatically adjust for altitude and for air temperature. So I should be able to go from sea level to 6,000 feet and have this thing run clean and not burble at all. And that's one of the things I'm also excited about. So this thing here is about as close to a mechanical fuel injection carburetor or system as you can get. When I install it, you have to make sure that the air boot that comes over from the filter, that this airway right here is clear. Now I've already put this on my bike, and I had to grind that down a little bit, just a little bit. I think I have a photograph of that'll show when my article comes out. So you need to make sure that this is fully open so that the air coming in can come into this right here. To adjust it, you can adjust it while you're on the bike, but you will raise the throttle wide open. And otherwise, see, this thing just turns. This thing can just spin around right here. But when you raise the throttle up all the way like that, then you can push this down and you can hear it drop into place. And now if I move it one way or another, it will click. And that's the lean or friction adjustment for it. Now this carburetor comes with a model number and a serial number. So each carburetor is registered so that if you call the factory, Smart Carb people, they can look on your charts and stuff and see how this thing was set up. The care and use manual that comes with it, which is very good, right here. It also on the back of it shows the adjustments. The metering rod, it tells you what the metering rod size is and how many clicks out from it is, and the slide rod length for the idle adjustment. I'm going to take this off right here, cap off here, and show you how the slide works. So I'm just going to undo this. Out. Anyway, here's the slide, and as you can see here, most carburetors that have it go down into here, and this one is on the side over here. It has this little thing that drops into here, and this drops in here, so your throttle cable goes in here and connects into that, slides into this little hole right in here, a little slot. One of the things I wanted to show you was this metering rod. If you can get a good shot at this thing is flat. It has the number on it and it's flat. And then it's kind of rounded on the backside in this. So it's not like your typical rod that you would normally see. So that's one of the tricky things in there. Yeah, the manufacturer refers to this as a finely tuned instrument. They don't really refer to it as a carburetor. Elevated Technologies or Smart Carb really sell this thing direct. They have a few dealers, but they prefer to sell it direct, and for one reason, and that is this doesn't operate like a normal carburetor does. So if you have a dealer that has this, and they all have mechanics there, and the mechanics are going to think they know how this thing works best, but Smart Carb would prefer that you call them directly and deal with them directly. Again, your carburetor is registered with them, so any adjustments and stuff they can help you with. They want you to run this thing probably for an hour or so stock, and don't touch the adjustments at all. This thing has been set up for my particular bike, and I'm assuming I'm not going to have to make hardly any adjustments at all to it. It may be a click one or two one way or another, and maybe a little bit of adjustment on the idle screw, but nothing other than that is what I'm hoping and anticipating. So with that, as I said, I'll be doing some butt dyno testing around my driveway. It's supposed to increase your power by 10%. It's supposed to increase your fuel mileage by 30%. And as I said, it's supposed to eliminate 50% in emissions because there's nothing going into the atmosphere at all. So that's about it for right now, and I will see you later. Okay, so we have this box here that I got from Technology Elevated, and we're going to open this thing up. It's going to be a big surprise what's in here, okay? Okay, this is for you, Art. We just received this from Elevated Technology box we're going to open up, and inside of it is a smart carb. So here we go. We're going to open it up and see what we got here. All right. Ow! Oh, no! Ow! Ow! Ah! Ouch! 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 I cut my finger! Oh, shit! Ow! Ow! Blow air into it, you can hear air being blown into the float bowl. Now, if you tip it upside down and you suck on it, then you'll see that there is no way that gas can roll out of this thing. So we're going to try that as well. So here we go. Ah! Ah! Okay, well, the first time didn't go so well, so I got a bigger knife. We're going to try this again, okay?